starting off the season on the road, first 2 games. I mean, honestly, I have a lot of fun on the road. Obviously, come home 2 W's can't hurt, but it's definitely time to come back home. And we got a big game. Teams did well last year, and I think this is going to be one of those games. Another one that we got to go out there and make sure we're hitting on all cylinders, and I know guys are going to be ready for this.
I was talking to some of the guys about what they like the most about playing at home, and they all said, you don't have to wear the suit and tie. You seem to like the suit and tie.
I like the suit and good. I like that. I might even wear a suit to this home game. So, that whole business trip kind of mentality. I enjoy it, but obviously it's nothing like being at home in front of your home fans. Everybody kind of going crazy. Third down, the crowd, you can feel the ground shaking. And it's just a whole different kind of vibe. So you love playing down here in South Florida, and Sunday is going to be no different.
Cam, even without Steven Jack, who's out, and they've got a lot of weapons on their offense, starting with Ryan, one of the receivers, Tony Gonzalez. I'm just talking about the challenge. It's such a prolific offense.
Well, there's a broken record. I mean, somebody told me the same thing last week, and the week before that. So, I mean, we have a tremendous task as a defense. This is NFL. Every week is probably going to be a great quarterback at the helm. It's probably going to be a pretty good running back, and it's probably going to be some type of dynamic receiver. So week in and week out, you have to rise to the occasion. There can't be any letdown. You got to play at a high level, and obviously this week's no different.
What do you think when you see a guy like Tony Gonzalez still playing at the level that he's playing?
Good for him. Good for him. Obviously, I think it's a tribute to the way he's taking care of himself and the type of athlete that he is, to still be able to do it at a high level for such a long time. And you love to see guys like that succeed. Not this Sunday, but just overall in general, you have respect for him as a player.
How much ribbon did you get
it's one of those things. I kind of heard him talking about it. You get an opportunity like that rarely. You get a free hit on a quarterback like that, and you just got to kind of make it. So it's happened to everybody in this locker room who had opportunity, whether it's a tackle or a sack or interception, and you just want to do whatever you can to get them down. But like you said, we came home with a W, so you kind of sweep it under the rug a little bit.
You got to make it.
I let him slide a little bit, but I think he knows for next time, hey, whether the ball's gone or not, make sure you got to lean on the side of aggressive and make sure he's on the ground.
Cam, does Matt Ryan get rid of the ball like Luck was getting rid of it really quick, man? What does that do for you guys when you're rushing him?
As a guy getting after the quarterback, it's at that position you have to play every play like you're going to get there. It doesn't matter. You don't get an opportunity to say, well, I think this next play I'm just going to take it because he's going to hold it. He's going to get rid of the ball. That's the play that he's going to sit back there and hold it, and that's the play that your team's going to need you to get back there, pressure, hit, whatever it may be. So this game, especially at this position, you have to play every play like it's on your back. There's no play off and pass rush. So other positions you can kind of take a play off, backside, whatever. Pass rush is not like that. Every single play, you are the guy, no matter if you're in the guy in the middle, because anybody who doesn't, you break down the whole, the consistency of the defense, and that's how you lose.
Having said that, you know where he's going to be. It's not like Luck where he's going to be running.
Well, you'd like to think so. He's still an athlete, and I think when you aren't, working together as a unit, any quarterback can step up and hurt you with scrambles or open that window up so he's throwing 7-on-7, and that's not what you want, especially with a guy like him. So, everybody has to rush together, whether it's a scrambling guy or not. You want to make sure you're in his face.
Cam, how much coaching do you do at Dion?
I might put that on my player/coach.
Right.
But obviously, I think there's no coincidence that his locker's right here. He sits next to me in the defensive meeting room as well. I think it's interesting that it happens the way it does. But I came down here, and I had some older guys who kind of helped me out. Gigi Taylor, Joy Porter. And, you do whatever you can. I was fortunate or unfortunate. My path, I wasn't drafted high, but I know there's a lot of expectations. He's got a lot of guys watching, and he has to go out there and perform. And so far, I think he's been doing that. Obviously, being young, there's things you're going to learn playing this game, and whatever. Not just me, but looking at defensive, you got Randy Starks, 10 years vet, Solia, 7, 8 years vet, Pro Bowlers, first rounders. He got a lot of guys he can go to for help, and I just want to be one of those guys.
Have you two been out together? Have you taken that upon yourself?
Of course, off the field and on the field. Like you said, I remember when I got down here, I didn't know anybody in the state of Florida. I didn't know where to go, where to get soup from, what's a good place to eat. where to get your car washed, where to get a haircut. I mean, think of all the things that you have to kind of learn when you come down to a new city. So I think this is one of those things where you can do, not just on the field, you can do whatever you can to help guys and try to make that transition as easy as possible.
Kim, do you guys have more playmakers this year, or do you have more guys making plays? Or maybe both?
More playmakers and more guys making plays. Or maybe I would say both. Of course. Speaking of Rashad Jones, as he walks by, I mean, but he was here last year, so I don't know if he fits in the.
But you got Shelby, who was here last year. Clay,
Shelby
who was here last year.
Clay was here.
Hartline, Tannehill, Wallace.
But all those guys were making plays last year too. So I mean,
Rhymes, Wallace,
Rhymes,
Anu.
Wheeler.
Rhymes is new, Wheeler's new, Ellaby's new. They're definitely playmakers. So I think it's just a situation where the things that we've been kind of working on, things we've been preaching from April, everybody want to talk about on paper. This looks like this, or this could be this. And I was one of those guys, of course, together with others. It doesn't matter what on paper. On paper, you don't line up to media guide and say, all right, this one wins the game. It doesn't work that way. You got to go out there on Sunday and you got to make the play. So, as it's been the first couple games, there's only 2 games. We've made more plays than the other team, and we just got to make sure we continue to do that.
Cam, what would 3-0 mean?
3-0 would mean something similar to what 2-0 means. I mean, the way, as you see right on that door, is it right here? Yeah, on this door and that door. It says 1-0. And that's the kind of mentality we've had since Cleveland. I mean, you come in, you play Cleveland, you 1-0. Now we're back to a whole new season, you play, you 1-0 again. And this week is no different. We're back to trying to play 1-0 after this Sunday. And you go out there and you try to take it one game at a time, and that's the mentality we've had since April, and it's been working out so far.
But this franchise hasn't been 3-0 in over a decade. I mean, it must I would think it would validate a lot of things if you took that next step.
Well, I don't think, and hopefully I can talk about it. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and start thinking 3-0 and 4-0. We just, like I said, just thinking 1-0. We're taking one game at a time. We're going out there and we're trying to be successful, play in and play out. That's kind of how football is. I mean, you got to think about the next play. It doesn't matter what happened 10 years ago. It doesn't matter what happened last play. What happens right now is the next play, and i.e. the next game. Atlanta's the only game we're really worrying about, and we'll focus on that and go out there and do our best to win that one. And 2 weeks from now, I'll be worrying about whoever the next guy is. So.
Would 3-0 mean more outside of the locker room from the standpoint of the business side of this organization? You sell more tickets, you sell more merchandise, fans are more excited?
I assure you that there's nobody in this locker room thinking about how many tickets we're going to sell on Sunday or merchandise. I've never seen a stat or, hey, the team with more money. It doesn't make, to me, it doesn't have any factoring in. Maybe there's some accountants upstairs or wherever they are. But in this locker room, I assure you, Tannehill's not like, all right, well, if we sell 40 more jerseys, then maybe we'll have a 40-yard pass. Like, it doesn't correlate for us. So all we're doing is going out there and trying to make sure, in this locker room, we're 1-0. As you said, like I said, you see these are improving, and we're being 1-0 Sunday. And then I'm sure the week after that, we'll be doing the same thing again. So it's funny to hear a lot of people outside thinking about that, but it's never brought me.
I know you're usually facing in the other direction, but what does Brent Grimes make to your defense?
Oh, you mean that? Okay.
You're you're chasing the quarterback.
No, I
He's
got
back
you.
there.
I got you. Well, you know what is funny is that the way that works is I think every DB, his best friend is going to be a pass rusher. And I assure you, my best friends on the football field are going to be defensive backs, because the best thing in the world for pass rush to see is that's what you want to see, and that's going to be credit to the way that DBs in the back end are covering. And I'm sure DBs love to see, that's balls in the air, let me get that. So obviously he's a guy who can make plays all over the field. You look at his stature, he's probably a little smaller than you, but he has that. That same kind of pitbull mentality. It doesn't matter what kind of receiver, how big he is, he's going to go out there and he's going to cover him. And as you see, he's making plays. And, when quarterbacks have to hold the ball a little more or throw in to cover guys, that's making plays for the whole team, whether it's interceptions or sacks and hits on the quarterback.
What did you think the first time you laid eyes on him?
On Brent?
Yeah, first time you walked in the room or whatever.
He's a small guy. He's small.
Yeah.
But they call him Mighty Mouse, and Mighty Mouse is small, but he can do amazing things. And I've seen, I mean, he might be, next to me, he might be the most athletic guy that I've been around in quite a while. I mean, his explosiveness, he's quick, he's strong. I've been in weight room with him, he's strong. And obviously, he has no problem covering receivers. He's good at what he does.
So he surprises you in the weight room a little bit.
He's surprised. He's one of those people, I guess, that you look at and underestimate and say, okay,
Yeah,
I can do this, I can do that, and they try. You see, they try to go up on top of him, and he can jump just with anybody else, and he got the ball. So, I mean, he's a guy that you definitely have to have on your radar if you're an offensive player.